Okay, we've installed our instance of WordPress, and we can visit the site and see that it's there. It does what every WordPress install does by default. It gives the site title, it gives a tagline, and it has one post that's called a hello world. That's part of the vernacular of computers. When they start, you just say, like, I exist. I'm a real thing. I'm an application that's running. And you can click on that post. It says, welcome to WordPress. This is your first post. Edit or delete it. Then start blogging. And then it says, there's a comment. Hi, this is a comment. To delete this comment, log into the post comments. There you have an option to edit or delete them. All right. So back in the login, you can see things that you're familiar with because you've been blogging. There's the post. You can edit it. You can trash it. And same thing with the comments. You can see there's that comment, and you can reply to the, oh, thank you, computer, for starting my adventure with my own website, and you can trash it. So those two types of comments. The next one, though, is in settings, where we had our default blog name, my blog, just another WordPress site. You can change this to whatever you want. My blog can become rescue the present test. I could leave this blank if I wish, and I can save changes. And now when I refresh, you can see I have the name of the site is changed and the tagline is gone. You don't have to use a tagline, all right? You can set the time zone if you wish to make sure that your posts are correct. I think we can find New York in here somewhere. There it is. If you want to set that and save changes, something that I think Barbara pointed out we needed to fix on ct101.us. You can go through a lot of these. These control how comments are reviewed. For example, when people comment on your site, you can say whether people have to, author must fill out an email. You have to say anyone email whenever anyone posts a comment. A comment is held for moderation. By default, no one can automatically comment on your site. It's always needs to be moderated. But you can control once, say it's someone you know and they've commented, you can make it so that they don't have to be moderated in the future. So you can look at settings in here for comments. So let's go to the fun part first, appearance. All right. In the appearance menu, you see themes. All right. The active theme is in blue, and you can customize this theme, and you can stick with 2016, which is the default theme. The default themes are created by the company Automatic, which is the company that kind of shepherds the WordPress project. So they're a for-profit company that runs WordPress.com, but they also shepherd the open source software project. And this is being slow at the moment because we're all at the moment trying to hit reclaim hosting. Come on. There we go. So there's lots of things that you can do. You can add logos. You can read up on this. You can change the color scheme, the background color. We can make, oh, I don't know, whatever we want. We can change link colors. We can change text colors. And it gives you previews of what these things kind of look like. And I can save and publish them. And you can stick with this default theme. But you also, and when we refresh, you can see those changes, all right, that I've made. But themes, we can also add a new theme. Themes are what are exciting. The themes control the look of the site. And there's all these themes that you can start to play with and see if you enjoy this. A lot of these are based on, this could be something that works well for someone that wants to do a photo blog. This would work well for certain types of companies that are like, I have this service and this service and this service. Here's my big picture of who we are. You can also, so I could look at, say, this site. I could preview this site. And this is kind of what, this is a straight up kind of blogging type of theme. And I'm going to say, okay, I'm going to install this theme. All right. And I'll wait. Again, computers are doing work. And then I activate that theme. All right, and now when I refresh my page, you can see it's different. Now it doesn't look a ton different because of the spacing, but you can see that we have some changes. This is now centered. We also now see, hey, what's this about? Oh, about. This is an example of a WordPress page. Whoa, I have a page in my site? What are pages? Well, and themes are a deep dive. There's lots of different things to do. I encourage you to research them. You should think about picking a theme in the context of your goals for your site. It can always be changed. You can go through a half a dozen themes and activate one, try it, see if you like it, get annoyed because you can't figure it out, or you want to try something else. Go through a bunch of them. I encourage you to try lots of different themes, all right, and try to figure them out, okay? And there's going to be a lot to figure out. But the next thing to recognize are pages. Pages are the static spaces that exist if you want to have static areas. The About page, I could edit this and say, this is my blog. And I could add an image. Let's add something. Come on. There we go. Let's see what we got. That's fun. There you go. That's Jim Groom and a kitty me. Perfect. Did I miss that? Open. Why? Let's try it this way. If it's being difficult, we'll drag the file. And let's do this. There we go. That worked. And because it's a GIF, I want it to animate. We're going to say insert full size. All right. And I can update the page. Cancel. Update the page. And now when I go to the About page and refresh it, seem to not like me asking many times. And you can see that that's a page. And you can, back in the dashboard, I can add more pages. So I could have another page that's like my favorite stuff and lots of stuff. And I publish this. And by default, with this particular theme, you see it automatically generates links. So by default, the home page is the blog. All right, so let me add a couple new posts. Add new test, stuff, publish. Add new test 2, stuff 2, publish. And now let's go back, refresh. And you can see with this particular theme, I'm seeing blog posts, all right? And it's a bloggy theme. But you can have sites that do different things, themes that do different things, and organize things. But it's created these two menu items. One of the things that's possible in your settings, we're going to go back to settings for a second here. Oops. Is that you can instead of your home page being your latest post, you could change to a static page. Well, I could say my About page is my default page, and then I could say my favorite stuff, or I could be smart. We add a new page. I'm going to add a new page and call it blog and publish it. And I could say the front page is about and the post page is blog, and I save changes. And now I go to the site, that's the present. And And you can see the About page is the home page. So when I go to my domain, I go to an About page, a static page, all right? And if I click on the blog, then I see the blog. So these are things that are possible in themes, all right? But one of the things I want you to recognize is, so I'm going to go back on purpose. I'm going to go to 2016. And I'm going to activate 2016, all right? And I'm going to go back to the site. And you can see the About page is still the default page, but where did my links go? Why don't I have my links? Some themes don't generate menus by default. You have to create the menus, all right? So this is going to be the last thing I'll show, which is how to create a menu. Back under the menus, actually, we're going to show two more things. No, we'll stop after this one. You can create a new menu and say, this is my menu. And we're going to create this menu. All right, and then I could say, I want the blog, my favorite stuff, and about all in the menu. Okay, but I could also do a custom link. I could go to my Tumblr account, mbransons.com, and I could say my Tumblr. Add to menu. So you can go to places that are outside as well. And I can save this menu. And then I can manage locations and say, hey, make my menu the primary menu and save it. And now when I go back and I refresh, you can see all my links are showing up. All right, so sometimes you have to generate the menu. And the blog, if I click on the blog, here are my posts. I click on my favorite stuff, here's my favorite stuff. I click on the About, it's effectively the home page now. And if I click on my Tumblr, I go to my external site. All right, so those are possible in menus. Quick tour of a couple more things. We have plugins. Plugins add functionality to a site. The most important plugin by default is Akismet. Akismet should be activated because this is how you block comment spam. We think of email spam as a problem. If you have Google accounts, that automatically filters it out. The tools are really good for filtering. This is the primary filter used for WordPress accounts. And to activate it, you need to actually go through the process of getting your API key, which means you have to create, if you don't already have one, a WordPress.com account. So don't conflate WordPress.com with your site. It's just another account with another web service. The WordPress.com account will allow you to set up an API. I'm not going to go through this process, but it's going to ask you to pay money. You're a student, you're doing this for non-commercial purposes, and unless you're not, most of you will, then just push the slider to the free option and pay nothing. And that's perfectly okay for what you're doing. There are plenty of big businesses that have WordPress installs that are using Akismet accounts that are paying them for their accounts. You shouldn't feel bad. It's totally okay. So you're going to want to set that up. That's just a really rudimentary, but plugins are a lot of fun. Just like themes, you can click this Add New and you can discover plugins that do a lot of different things. With that WordPress account, WordPress.com account, you can install Jetpack. And Jetpack allows you to see site data if that stuff's interesting to you. There's all sorts of plugins that allow you to connect social media spaces. So say you're someone that wants to show your latest tweets, like I do in my site. I have a few different plugins that show a Flickr account feed. It shows latest tweets. It also a plugin that allows me to show this is latest Tumblr posts. All right. So plugins allow you to add functionality to your site, and you can start to do some research and figure that out. All right. But make sure you activate Akismet and you go through the process and you figure out the free option and get your API key and copy and paste it so that you can not get comment spam. All right. That's a lot. The last one I will say, is widgets. Widgets are these spaces often on sidebars. These are theme specific. So notice on my site, this is called a sidebar, all right? So this is, in this particular theme, blog posts look like this. There are these small pieces, all right? And you have these different previews of these blog posts. But then I have a sidebar here. And this sidebar is managed by these different things I've shoved in it, these different widgets that I've shoved in that sidebar. So I can have a sidebar that shows, since it'll be I can add pages. All right, I can say, and it can see, I'll just give it the title pages, right? And I save this, all right, and now it's there. And when I go to reset it, I now have a sidebar that's active and showing my pages. And you can continue on and add other widgets depending on, some of them can be based on plugins, and you'll see more widgets based on plugins. You can add calendars if you're the type of person that does a lot of blogging and you want to show date. There's all sorts of stuff you can put in there. You can add search. We can make search show up on the default. We don't even have to have a title. And now it'll be there and I refresh. And there's a search bar, okay? So you can make choices about widgets. Sidebars are the common way that they're used, but they do lots of different things, all right? So that's a really quick tour of the things that now that you're able to do. Posts you should recognize, media you should recognize, pages are now new, comments you should recognize, appearance is now new. You can change the theme, you can change widgets, you can add menus. Depending on the theme, you may be able to change the header and the background. You can do some basic settings under general defaults, like the title of the site, the tagline. You can also change, if you want to change the static page or in the post page of your site. A lot of these things should be done and can change and evolve. One of the things to remember that is whether you change the theme or you change the plugins, you turn them on and they off, the content always stays there. WordPress is what we call a CMS. It's a content management system. It's not just a website. So the stuff is always going to be there. Even if the posts and pages are going to stay there. Even if you change the theme, turn plugins on and off. So don't worry about futzing. Feel comfortable trying lots of different things out and kind of document that. So the big thing for next week is going to be, I'm going to write this up in a post. We covered it. I'll put the links to these videos as well so you have something to look at. You're going to make a blog post about all the different things you did and link to your site and about your progress. So you're going to document and reflect on the experiments you did and the process you did, and then link to your site and say, here it is. Okay, and you're going to get as far as you want. And you should I'm going to encourage you in that post to reflect on the decisions that you're making based on how you think you might use your site. Okay, and that's it.